What up, what up? Hope everyone is doing well today. We will jump right into it in a minute. GM. Messi, Dave Nelson, Silver Days, Tobias. Thank you, RPM. Glad you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that debate a lot. Taylor, good morning. Scott. Mary Cox, good morning. Roger, good to see you. Got to pull up the X chat real quick so we can get the X chat people involved here. One of the hardest things about doing this. I still don't have anything that pulls all my chats together into one place. It's amazing how hard that's been to figure out. Should be easy. Nick, good to see you. Yep, DID is live. I can do an explanation of DID if people want to see it. Happy to get into DID. DID is really exciting. It's a bit slept on. I think a lot of people ignore how important DID could actually be. Huh. Do we know who Satoshi is yet? I highly doubt that person who said that we were going to, that said, whatever you want to say, that we were going to know who Satoshi was, is actually going to say who Satoshi was. I highly doubt we're going to get that. But we shall see. It seems to me like it's very unlikely that we are actually going to get who Satoshi is. Every single time someone claims to know who Satoshi is, we never actually get it. It's always just a big hype event to sell a documentary or something like that. Like even that documentary that just came out, I mean, there was no actual movement on figuring out who Satoshi was. It was just a way to sell some docs. Will Codius make Flair obsolete? No, absolutely not. Codius and Flair are very different. Flair is about doing DeFi, bringing XRP ledger tokens to a DeFi environment. Codius would be more about adding smart contracts to the XRP ledger. Now, you can build DeFi applications on the XRP ledger natively, but Flair is just, it's really its own ecosystem that XRP is involved in. Codius is more of making the XRP ledger ecosystem better. I need like a StreamYard. I need like a Streamlabs professional to fix what I have going on here. It's crazy. Why has no one followed up with David's comments that Satoshi held an enormous amount of XRP in 2017 under oath? Yeah, it's a good question. It's a really good question. Um, I should talk more about that, Taylor. That's great. That's great. I brought it up once, but you're kind of right. And I know you weren't saying that at me, but I think that is something that's pretty slept on. I would like to talk a bit more about that. I think it's interesting. I think it's really interesting. Satoshi holding a large amount of XRP. That is something I certainly was not expecting to see. If anyone doesn't know about that either, let me know. But part of the court case stated that Satoshi actually held XRP. I'm fed up with certain crypto YouTubers giving price predictions from. Yeah, that's why I don't give price predictions. That's the whole reason I don't give price predictions. The problem is everyone's just guessing, right? Price predictions are just one big guess, and I'd rather you guys just guess on price rather than me guess on price. So I'm not a big price prediction guy. I mean, I have some lofty goals for XRP. I think some XRP is going to hit some really high numbers, but the reason I don't give price predictions is for the reason you just said. Like, it's just like, to me, it seems like a fool's errand. If I give a price prediction that's too low, people will say, oh, you had no idea how high XRP could actually go. And if I give an XRP price prediction that's too high, people are like, oh, you're hyping it up, blah, 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 blah. So it's just a lose-lose scenario. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter that much what I think. Like, you guys should have your own price targets. And if I make you bullish, right, that probably raises your price target. If I make you bearish, that probably makes your price target lower. But Flair's time is coming. Yeah, Flair's time is coming. Drop in the chat. Yep, Drop is looking good. Mickle is so handsome. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Crypto Clay, good to see you. Good to see you. It's crazy. Flair is the perfect example of how sentiment can change on a token. Like, Flair was pumping and everyone loved Flair, and then Flair went down and now everyone hated Flair. So just keep that in mind. But I think Flair is doing some incredible things, and yeah, I'm really excited for what's around the corner with Flair. They just got to keep moving forward, right? They're building something big. Oh, what is that RPM that you just sent me? R3, what is this? RPM. Is this who's left the company? Oh, financials? R3. This website is just, they have a new director. Drop on the XRP ledger. Drop Army's pumping hard. If you're part of the Drop Army, or if you're just watching this in general, make sure to smash the like button. Really appreciate everyone doing that. RPM, this website is crazy. It's so bad. This is interesting. Scroll down and look at, it's all locked for me, RPM. It's all locked for me. All right, I have to make an account. RPM, can you DM me on X what you're looking at? I would love to take a look at this. I've never seen this. I'll take a look at it later, and I would love to report on this. I have it saved. Just to pull this up live on stream is a little difficult right now. So if you could DM me on X some of the numbers you're looking at, I would love to see them. That's great. That's great. New subscriber, thank you so much for joining. We're on a mission to 100,000. We're nowhere close to that number right now, but we'll get there one day. I'm absolutely sure of it. He gone? Oh, did someone get kicked? Love that. Deck screener soon. Yeah, deck screener's coming in hot with the meme coins. Been keeping my eye on that market. Nothing. Oh, we're definitely in a meme coin bear market right now. We're definitely in a meme coin bear market right now. So we got to pull ourselves out of that. I'm sure we will. To me, it looks like the charts are trying to recover, but really nothing too interesting happening on that front right now. We need to get out of this meme coin bear market, and I think deck screener is going to be a nice big catalyst to help that happen. RPM left. I hope he's DMing me. I want to see what RPM is sending me. I can get the financials. I just have to log in and make an account, and I don't want to do this live. Garbage army. That's funny. Oh, breaking news. What is this?
Up 8, 9 tenths, and that's exactly what we received. Up 8 tenths, up 8 tenths. And how does that fit in? Up 8 tenths is the smallest month-over-month cost index variable going back to June of 21. June of 21. So that's pretty good. Second quarter of 21. Now, let's look at personal income and spending. There's a lot of categories here. There's 7, so bear with me. On the income side, exactly as expected, up 0.3%, and up 0.3 equates to July. To find a higher number, you go back to May when it was up 0.5%. Now, let's look at spending, shall we? Spending was a bit on the light side. Last month was the second lowest reading of the year. It popped up a bit, up 0.5%. Up 0.5. That is really a nice number, and that equals where we were in July. To find a higher number, you go to March of this year when it was up 0.7. Now, let's go to real spending, shall we? That's up 0.4, another nice beat. If we look at the PCE price index month over month, up 0.2, exactly as expected. A little hotter than our 0.1 last time. To find a higher number, you have to go to April of this year. Now, let's look at the year-over-year price index. That came in at exactly 2.1, which was expected, but it is 0.1 smaller than our last look at 2.2. 2.2 in and of itself was the lightest since Dec of 21 when the comp was 1.8, so we remain in that same comp category. Now, let's look at core numbers. On a month-over-month core PCE, up 0.3 month over month. That actually is the hottest number going back to March of this year. And finally, number 7, core year-over-year PCE. And that number comes in hotter than expected at 2.7. We were looking for 2.6, but it equals last month, 2.7. And 2.7 actually on the core number, well, if you look at that, that would be the biggest level going back to 2.7. That would be since April when we were hovering at 2.97, rounded up to 3. Now, we still have 2 categories left. Initial jobless claims, 216,000. That's about 14,000 lighter than expectations, and that is definitely lower than the 228 slightly revised last week. But there's many asterisks here. Many economists, our own favorite Peter Bookfar, there's a lot of noise in this number due to storms, so it's hard to tell if it's getting back onto its proper GPS. And I would also put out there that many thought it would actually be higher based on certain effects. So we want to monitor that. And on continuing claims, the metric of 1.8 million now becomes the 21st consecutive week above that level, 1,862,000. That's actually a bit lighter than expectations, and that follows 1,888,000. After all that, how did the market synthesize these numbers? Well, we saw yields in the 10-year move up to 430. Now they're back down to 428, exactly where they were before any of the data hit at all. A 2-year more susceptible to potential issues regarding inflation, the Fed, and the strength of the jobs market. Well, it's now at 416. It was 418 prior to the number. So you could actually say, a little bit better news. I'm not sure exactly where they see the better news. We did see some inflation numbers a little warmer, some subtly cooler, but all in generically. The only surprise really was claims, and I'm not sure that really counts. As far as Jim Grant and the vigilantes, I know there's an article in the Journal today that the next administration is going to inherit a great economy. I'm not sure about how I would define great, but they're going to inherit a boatload of debt. Joe and the gang, back to you.
Yep. Okay. We're going to talk all about that. In fact, and Steve Leisman joins us now. I haven't seen that in a while. It says Lease Mania in the teleprompter again, and we haven't used that. It's still alive and well. Steve, there's groupies everywhere.
Amazing. Yeah. With this amount of data, Joe, you imagine people are going absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Look, that ECI is a real good number. It's something that Powell watches a lot, so that came in lower than expected at 0.8. But on the other hand, the core being higher than expected is significant, and it's kind of like a stall speed here. But I don't know, you want to have this debate about the economy. It looks to be doing pretty well. I just looked briefly at the 2 states I think were probably most affected by the hurricanes. They saw drop-offs in claims, Florida and North Carolina. So it looks like, obviously, the hurricane had devastating effect on people's lives. Some towns out there, a really big, important deal. However, it doesn't look like it's having a big macro effect. We had Neela Richardson yesterday tell us that those jobless, the impact on the jobs market kind of passed through relatively quickly. The consumer seems to be doing well, up 0.5%. That's an important beat on the upside. It may flatter that third quarter GDP again, although it's probably included, and give us a good jumping off point for the fourth quarter. Savings rate down a little bit. Got to watch that. I'm not really sure where the right level is that people are going to be comfortable. 4.6 down from 4.8. And the other thing is watching the income numbers, which seem to be okay. So, Joe, I think we're all right. I'd like to see more progress on inflation. I think the bond market wants to see more progress on inflation, but it's not going the other way. We're kind of stagnant on that core rate. I don't think the Fed's going to be happy with that, but I still think it'll feel it has scope to cut. Boom.
Yeah. Any comment? I mean, Jim Grant, we've it's kind of, I wouldn't say he's like the boy who cried wolf necessarily, but he does always have a sobering view of Fed policy and debt and things like that. But when you look at that that 40-year bond bull market, and you look whether we haven't had any real comeuppance for maybe what was irrational exuberance, but it would mean we need to be underestimating the inflation that's sort of built in and ready to emerge at any time. I don't know if you think we are or not.
I don't think that's right, Joe, but I do think this idea we talked about earlier this week from Maya McGinnis from the Center for Responsible Budget, this invisible fence. We don't know where that fence is until we cross it, and that's a reason for prudence on the fiscal side, especially if we want capacity to address issues. And finally, I think there's a big national security aspect to our fiscal side, which is our ability to help our allies when needed.
Yeah, he talked about, he mentioned that too, and war and everything else. All horrible things. We're supposed to be happy and getting ready to trick or treat and stuff. All right. You eat 3.5 pounds of chocolate today?
What?
No, that's right. What did we just say? Do you eat 3.5 pounds of chocolate today? That's a lot, isn't it? Do you?
Steve, thank you. When we come back, North Island's Glenn Hutchins will join us to talk markets, the Fed, and much more. We'll be right back.
All right, Joe. What a weird ending to that. Guys, make sure if you're on YouTube, you drop a like on the stream. Really appreciate that. And if you're on X, a retweet goes a long way. Wanted to share this with you quickly. I know we just heard a lot of data come through, but this is a nice visualization of core PCE index change year over year in personal consumption. So this is pretty important to show inflation is heading in the right direction. Obviously, you can see this blue line coming back down, getting towards that Fed inflation target. So we're kind of coming back down. It's choppier, but when you look at this blue change in year over year, you can see that the year over year numbers are in fact coming down. And then we can take another look at that on this other chart. So this other one, PCE index rose, 12-month rate was 2%, 3 to 6 month annually rates were back to 1.7, 1.8 and 1.7 respectively. So as you can see, we continue to move down. And let me just see the difference between these. One's core and one's headline. So as you can see, we're pretty close to the Fed target, specifically on this chart right here. We're almost touching that yellow line. When it comes down to core, we have a little more work to do, but the charts are moving in the right direction, and I think that's important. Also, funny that the audio had no issues today. I didn't change anything, so that's one of the funny things about live stream. You don't change anything, do the same exact thing, and everything works great. Didn't happen that way the other day, but whatever. Mr. I, good to see you. See, I caught it that time, Mr. I. Didn't look at the X chat for a minute, but I see it now. Good to see you, Mr. I. Thanks for stopping in. Guys, we have 570 viewers. Make sure to smash that like button. I want to get those numbers up, up, up. It's been a bit of a slow week, but next week is going to be insanity. I know a lot of people have probably seen the election madness going on right now. That's gonna be the next big thing. So I anticipate this next week or so is gonna be chaotic. I've got a Trump hoodie on now. The COVID mandates are over. Destroyed live. Yeah, the COVID mandates were insanity. Guys, I want to do a shout out to this real quick. It's really important. Connect to Congress. Connect to Congress. If you guys haven't done this yet, make sure to go do this. I just retweeted this, so it's directly on my X page. If you're on X right now, you can easily go do this. Connect to Congress. A total of 1,000 messages have been sent. Guys, we can destroy that. We get 1,000 people on these streams daily. This will reach out to your local representative and ask them to make the SEC investigation into Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton public. So the SEC has done an investigation into what happened with the Ethereum free pass and slamming the door on XRP, but it hasn't been made public yet. So make sure to go hit this. Make sure to go do this. This will make sure that these reports do become public. And, right, obviously, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to expose what happened here. So do not miss your opportunity to go do this. Extremely, extremely important. See what else we got. Is anyone else having trouble with the DEX on the You mean the Xamin wallet? Oh, I don't think XP Market is here right now, but XP Market just got added to the DUNL validator list. So massive shout out to them. This is a big achievement, but XP Market is now a UNL validator. So very cool. Congratulations to that team. They've really been grinding, and they have some really cool stuff going on in terms of DeFi on the XRP ledger. So they just had an actually big NFT sale the other day, which is exciting. But one of my favorite things is just being able to do some token farming. So unfortunately, I didn't get in on the NFT. Really wanted to, but by the time I got around to it, it was I kind of missed it. But still doing the yield farming for sure. Getting a lot of XPM tokens for doing that. So make sure to check this out if you haven't already. This is on the XPM website. You have to enter an automated market maker pool. It's the only pool I'm in right now. And the reason I'm in this pool is because of those extra rewards. So I haven't made that much in fees. I've only made $10 in fees, right? So like that's not that exciting, but XPM is actually rewarding you for being in that pool. And because of that, I don't know the exact amount I've brought in, but I know I've lost 1,000 XPM from not being on top of this. So, do with that what you will. Clearly, I've missed out on a very good opportunity to earn a lot of XPM by not paying enough attention to it. So I probably made a decent amount as well, but just something to keep in mind. See what else is going in the chat. John Slack, good to see you. Abs, I saw you stop by earlier today. Good to see you, Abs. Yeah, Galicio, I did see that. So that was actually in the Zelensky case. That wasn't in the Ripple SEC case. And I made that same mistake as well. I I totally forgot about the Zelensky case going on. That's actually a class action case going on. So unfortunately, that's actually a different case. I don't think it really matters. I don't think Ripple is settling either way, but I just want to make that clear. That's actually a different case going on. Do I miss recording in my car? No, not really at all, actually. I know some people definitely miss the car recordings. I do not miss the car recordings. It's very nice to be sitting in a place I'm comfortable and not have to worry about the car side of things. There's a lot to try to do. There's a lot to try to do. It's nice to not have to do a million things at once, I'll tell you that. Joe Fresno, you haven't been getting crap for the memes like Zach Rector. Well, I've taken a bit of a different approach to Rector. Zach made an interesting choice on what he wanted to take on there. So Zach made a bold choice in what he wanted to do, and more power to Zach. He can do whatever he wanted, but I can tell you right now, that is certainly not something I've wanted to do. I think I've been pretty pragmatic about the memes. You know, I think they're fun to mess around with. I think they're fun to experiment with. I think most people will lose a lot of XRP in the process of messing around with the memes. But also, I've had some good ones. So. Yeah, so like, look, I would never launch my own meme token, but it doesn't mean I don't think the market is fun. Can I address what Keith said? What did Keith say? Sorry, I totally missed it. Keith, I did not take your XRP. Keith, you probably... Keith, I feel terrible for you, but you probably interacted with a scammer. Keith, I can promise you I did not take your XRP. Keith, what happens is there's scammers who pretend to be me, and you probably interacted with a scammer who was pretending to be me, unfortunately, and you sent that scammer XRP. So you've got to be very careful, man. I am never going to ask you for XRP. Keith, I don't think we've ever interacted before. You've got to be careful, man. You've got to be careful. Like, there's a lot of scammers out there. You can't be sending people XRP. Like, absolutely not. Like, look, there's Ripple scams out there. Every single influencer has scams. I can't, unfortunately, I report scammers all day long. There's a new Mickle account daily. I just can't keep up with that. So Keith, it's terrible that happened, and I hope you get your money back. But like, you need to understand, like, anyone can make a fake account and pretend to be me. Unfortunately, there's just nothing I can do about it. Yeah, Keith, just so you know, man, like, dude, never in a million years would I steal anyone's XRP. I mean, look, I come out, like, it's unfortunately, like, just go look at, like, I don't like want to encourage people to do that, but just go look at the comments on any YouTube video. There's so many fake scammers, and I report them 24/7, and there's nothing I can do. It's just because YouTube just doesn't care about people losing their money. All right, well, Keith, if you don't mind, make sure to tell them that you got scammed and it wasn't me, because I'd prefer if you didn't have an investigation into me for something I didn't do. So I would appreciate you clearing that up, because look, man, this is something like, well, you say you wouldn't think I would, but you kind of came on here accusing me. So Keith, yeah, no, look, every single influencer has to deal with this, and it's why we're constantly telling people to be careful of scams. Like, it's why I'm constantly telling people, be careful of scams, be careful of scams, be careful of scams. I am constantly on X being like, report this person, report this person, report this person. And unfortunately, no matter how much I tell people to report these people, they just make a new account. So I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with it. No matter what I do, I can't keep up with it. And that's why I always tell people, never send people your XRP. Never give people your key phrase. Mickle, can you take my wife? Look. Yeah, Keith, I feel bad for... Yeah, absolutely it could have been anyone, Keith. Absolutely. Of course it could have been anyone. This is like the biggest scam in crypto right now. Okay, back to the news. Keith, I'm sorry. I think that's terrible. I'm very sorry that happened. But you need to understand, man, that's not me. Like, to like, make sure you tell whoever you have involved in this that you got scammed by someone pretending to be me and not me. Keith, I didn't guide you to do anything, man. I don't know what to tell you. All right, well, we'll move on from that. Bit of a vibe killer there. Let's go up to the news for a minute.
Different than kind of what I'd be talking about, right? And they're also individual proprietors and founders of their companies, and they're very different situations than a CEO who's, reports to a board and is elected by.
Retaliate against all CEOs by raising the corporate tax rate and, by telling.
But not specifically not specifically identifying
it'll
a company
be across
and saying,
the board instead.
We're going to go after you.
Right.
I say that the corporate tax rate she's proposed
is 28. I know
is lower than what Bill Clinton had.
Just for those who don't know,
if you love the economy, some of what we're seeing in the economy right now might be from the 21%.
To some extent, let's come back to that.
That's all. I mean, I don't know if I'd be changing anything about the way.
On industrial policy, I think is the other issue. The Trump tariffs and his policies and administration tilted toward Rust Belt industries. Harris has voiced her support for the industry of the future, AI, biotech, even been friendly toward crypto. So I think I come out there. Climate change. Trump has called climate change a hoax and not our problem. Harris wants to address the problem. I think we need to recognize the importance of fossil fuels in the global economy. When I visited Poland and Ukraine not long ago, they're still burning coal because that's all they've got to burn. So we have people in those situations. And we especially need to understand the role that natural gas plays as a bridge fuel to the future. But we need to take climate change seriously as an economic threat. And I think that's of extraordinary importance. I'm getting ready to go down to Brazil, and the climate change in the Amazon, affecting the Amazon is enormous and changed my travel plans, for instance.
Really?
Immigration, the one I know, Joe, you focused on. Danny Bedos this morning made the point which I would make, which is that mass deportations advocated by Trump are bad for labor market policy. And Harris, Senator's speech the other day, 2 days ago, that she supports immigration reform, which includes strong border security, pathway to citizenship for workers, particularly farm workers and for dreamers, not mass importation, not massive migration of workers. I could go, there are other issues, abortion, healthcare, foreign policy questions, but those are the main economic points on which I compare and contrast. I think nobody's perfect. Neither administration did a perfect job. Neither candidate's going to be able to do a perfect job. But if you look at the two of them, I come out as a Harris supporter for economic reasons. That's how I think about it.
Glenn, you're a longtime Democrat. You mentioned being in the Clinton campaign. You were very close with President Obama. How close are you to this administration? Have you had input in what they're talking about to this point? Not really. I mean, I know a group of people. I know them from a lot of the people from past efforts. The people who are close to them in this town, I know well, but I'm not engaged in the kind of, I'm not a surrogate for the campaign. I'm not engaged with the campaign in that sense. I'm an independent actor. If former President Trump
independent proprietor, like you said.
Yeah, if former President Trump wins re-election next week, what would be the policy or two that you would focus on trying to have input in? Appointments for personnel is policy. Yeah. Right? There's some very, very good people, some of whom have been on this show, people like Jay Clayton and Kevin Warsh, who I think would be terrific people to serve in an administration and would be rational and make good decisions. So I think that's be the most important thing that I would focus on. Okay. Chief of Staff in the White House would be another one you'd want to see as a signal of someone who, had a capacity to run that building in a professional way. Glenn, I want to thank you very much for being with us today. Glenn Hutchins. Thank you for having me. Thanks. Thanks. Squawk Box will be right back.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Take a look at some price charts, although there's not really anything that interesting going on the price charts right now. Yeah, I always like to look at what Glenn has to say, because Glenn is an early XRP guy. XRP trying to respect this bottom, as we can see. Hopefully getting some support here. I think the more important story right now is Bitcoin, because we anticipated Bitcoin was going to be breaking out, but it's really yet to do it. So Bitcoin is still struggling a bit to get through this. I think it will, but this is kind of the story of the day right now. Can Bitcoin actually finally blast through this? Oh, it's Halloween. Wow. I'm getting old when I forget it's Halloween. Happy Halloween to everyone. Happy Halloween. Silver Day is good to see you. So this is a big thing, just waiting for Bitcoin to break through this. Please no charts. Now we got to take a look at the charts. This is a pretty big moment right now. I think it ranges until the election. I can definitely get on board with that. Digital ID did get approved. I would love to talk about that. I would love to talk about DID. I want to take a look at XRP to BTC real quick. Oops. Okay, looks like we're pretty close to this bottom here. So XRP to BTC is pushing on this bottom. Would love to see a big bounce. We'd love to see a big bounce there. FOMC signals verbiage, what the market is going to do. It's flipping crazy. You need to watch. Oh, breaking news.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. We got some breaking news about our parent company this morning on the earnings call, telling investors that they are considering spinning off the cable channels that are owned by Comcast. Perhaps.
What kind of breaking news is that? Spinning off cable net can't. That's not breaking news. The nerve of them to even present that as breaking news is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh my, that is just ridiculous. A lot of crazy comments going on right now. CNN breaking news: Joe broke his fingernail. Dude, like, just everything is breaking news nowadays. Everything is breaking news. I'm trying to see if we can get do like Bloomberg up. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right, nice. I can pull Bloomberg if we ever need it. Doesn't look like they're talking about anything too interesting over at Bloomberg, but Bloomberg, it tends to be a little more crypto focused. So let's just tune in and see what they have to say real quick.
They delivered record operating profit, but the forecast was short of expectations. Also looking at Estee Lauder pre-market, down 23%. Whoa. Guidance was uncertain over a new CEO, weak demand in China. There's a lot to say about that stock right now as it transitions to a new turnaround. Peloton also turning around, announcing a Ford executive here, Peter Stem. He's going to take over as CEO in 2025, and people like it. Peloton's up almost 19% pre-market. Also looking here at Robinhood, down more than 9%. They failed to meet high expectations in the third quarter. They blamed a customer promotion that required the firm to offset a portion of revenue. Here's the big story. Meta, Microsoft down on growth concerns. They're spending big on AI. Meta now down 1.4%. Microsoft even more so, down 3.8% pre-market, Matt.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the spending plans of these companies. I mean, Meta is going to spend $100 billion this year, or near as damn it to it. And Microsoft spent more on CapEx in the last quarter than it did in the whole year pre-COVID for property and equipment. So they're really ramping up spending, and they would spend more if they could. They just can't get enough GPUs.
And also, it's not sure that investors are really signed.
They did talk about Uber. Uber reported earnings. Robinhood had reported earnings. Definitely some interesting earnings hit. Do we know who Satoshi is yet? That's a great comment. Candy corn consumption is expected to go down by 5%. Oh, man. Yeah, they've got to work on their breaking news there over at CNBC. I'm not sure if they've quite got me convinced that that's actually breaking news. To each their own, though. Yes. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, Taylor, that's great. That's great. And I keep forgetting to talk about it. One thing I do want to talk about quickly is DID. A lot of people are wondering what DID is really about. So pretty much how I see this happening going in the future is for institutions who want to get involved in DeFi, they are going to require their customers to be KYC'd. So what you're going to be able to do is KYC your wallet. That wallet is going to then have a tag on it moving forward, so that if you ever interact with a DeFi system again, that wallet is KYC'd, and you can thus have a tag on that wallet every single time you then interact with a DeFi system going forward. So say you had a DeFi system being run by a large banking institution, and it becomes a law in the United States that in order to interact with DeFi or have a DeFi protocol in the United States, you have to KYC customers. Essentially, you'd be able to KYC your wallet, get a tag on it, and then you'll be able to move forward saying, hey, this is a ID associated with my wallet, and now I can use these systems without sharing all your information. So you won't have to share the fact on the blockchain that you're X amount of years old, you have residency at this address. You won't have to share that on the blockchain. You will just essentially have a verification check mark on your wallet that will then allow you to move forward and interact with a lot of these new systems. So it's a big step in the compliance game. It allows people to make sure that you meet certain qualifications without disclosing anything about your identity. It could be as simple as, hey, this is a verified wallet that is not sanctioned. So you can have a non-sanctioned tag on your wallet. And therefore, if you're to interact with any systems, essentially people won't have to worry about whether or not you're sanctioned. So it's a big step towards compliance. And me personally, I think it's probably a pretty big deal in terms of institutional DeFi. I think David Schwartz himself has said, hey, you can easily see this as being a big catalyst to bring in much larger people. Then they can add sales tax to DeFi. I don't know about sales tax, but there's certainly some kind of, there will be certainly income tax and stuff like that on DeFi. Well, there already is, let's be clear. Some people disagree with that. Some people don't think there is. My understanding is that there already is income tax and stuff on DeFi. You still need to actually need to verify your anonymous face correctly, though, to prevent you not to lose your wallet. This is why I trust centralized cold wallet should be the end to save. Be the end save to appreciate. You still actually need to verify your anonymous face correctly, though, to prevent you not to lose your wallets. This is why why a trusted centralized cold wallet should be the end save to. I'm not sure if I fully get that. I don't know if I'm just missing something, Stacy, or there's a typo there. I'm a little lost, but I think I kind of get what you're saying. Mickle, lunchtime at work and call. Oh, Colin, great. Glad you're doing well, Colin. A little golfing during work, man. Where do you work? That sounds incredible. We cannot rest until he's actually back in the office. They will try everything. Yeah, absolutely. Link2 in trouble? Yeah, Link2 does seem like they're in a bit of trouble. We'll have to see what Link2 can do. I don't know. I think Link2's in a tough position. They offered PolySign to people, and I don't think there's anything wrong with offering PolySign to people. People just were upset that PolySign went to zero, which is understandable, but like anything can go to zero, right? Like we're like crypto memes, right? Those things rug constantly. So that's one of the risks of the private equity, right? One of the risks of private equity is it's extremely volatile and it can go to zero. I mean, public companies can go to zero. Anything can go to zero. I don't know. I think that was a lot of backlash they faced for that. And I don't know what it looks like on the other side of this for them, right? I don't know how easily they can recover from it. I don't know how easily they can pivot. I really don't, but it seems like that's kind of becoming a big issue for them in terms of public sentiment. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if they're getting investigated. There's a lawsuit. There's certainly a lawsuit. I don't think you lost. You were talking about DeFi and decentralized wallets before, not having to actually verify your true identity. Well, you have to. I see what you're saying. I got you, Stacy. I got you. Yeah, you have to. You don't have to have your credentials on the blockchain, I was saying, but you still need to verify your true identity. Absolutely. So, Damien, the November 4th settlement was actually in the Zelensky case. It wasn't in the Ripple SEC case. And there's not going to be a settlement regardless, I don't believe, until Gary Gensler is out of office. So, it was a bit of, there's a lot of hype going around X about a possible settlement before November 4th. I made a video saying I didn't think that was going to happen, but it's important to realize that the settlement was actually in a class action lawsuit against Ripple rather than the Ripple SEC. Huh. That's so funny. I said Zelensky. That's so funny. My brain is half off right now. Zakhanov. That's so funny. I don't know why my brain defaulted to Zelensky. That's hilarious. Watch Virtual Bacon's video why alt season starts in 1 month. He cracks a secret that signals from the FOMC meeting minutes. Taco Pro, thank you so much for sharing that. Do you have a link for the video? That's so funny. Yeah, maybe Zelensky is trying to get a little extra money. Now he's suing Ripple to get a little extra funding. That's funny. Zakhanov. Taylor, that's all I needed there. Zakhanov. Thank you. That's why we keep Taylor around. Just butchered his name. Where is PolySign's code? If it was moved to another company, investors were pushed out, then it might be. I don't know much about it, but I think PolySign is still for sale. I don't think Ripple didn't buy PolySign. Ripple just bought standard custody. So I think PolySign's still for sale. Don't hold me to that though. I'm not positive. I don't have a lot of details on this entire thing. I don't know if maybe they're being investigated. I've only seen publicly that there's a lawsuit against them, which I don't know. To me, it seems like it just depends on how, like, I read the allegations of the lawsuit and they did seem like, okay, well, this could be an issue. It was a pretty much their compliance person. So pretty much their compliance person came out and said, okay, Link2 has been ignoring us on all the compliance stuff. So it's going to be whether or not compliance was taken seriously at Link2. I don't know, right? I really don't know what it looks like on the other side of it, but it's still, I can guarantee you, something not fun that Link2 is going to have to deal with. I can promise you that. I can promise you that this is probably not going to be great for Link2 regardless. But I don't know. I obviously hope they make it through. I liked Link2. I think they provide a good product. I think they allowed people to get access to private equity. I think the biggest problem is everyone wants to say they are happy with private equity until private equity doesn't go well. And private equity is extremely risky. So, right, like everyone wants to be involved with private equity when it's going up and up and up. But then when it, you have the risks of private equity, then everyone says like, oh, well, I wish I didn't get involved in this. So it's easy to be involved in something when it's going up. It's not as fun to be involved in something when it's going down. And unfortunately, that's like just part of investing in general, right? Like there's always risks associated with anything. And there's a ton of risks in crypto, but that's why I always tell people to stick to blue chips, right? I always tell people stick to blue chip cryptocurrencies because I think you can severely de-risk a lot of what you experience in crypto by sticking to blue chip cryptocurrencies and not getting down into the weeds. When you get to private equity, you're starting to get into like the weeds of the equity market, right? You can definitely find a gem in there, but you have to be very careful. You're not searching for a gem and missing out on a lot of more obvious bets in the public market. So it just takes a lot of extra research, and Polysign was a tough one, man. That everything about the company looked great, right? Everything about the company looked excellent, and they just weren't making enough money, I guess. So that's private equity for you. Someone asked, flame and drop are opposites. Can you explain? I don't know much about the flame and drop being opposites. They're just memes, man. People will just buy whatever they think is funny or cool or interesting. I personally wouldn't overthink it too much. I don't think. I think if you're trying to explain like the relationships of multiple meme tokens, then you're kind of putting yourself in a position where you're overthinking it and you potentially might be missing the boat on the fact that it's more of just a joke. I posted the link in the chat. He broke the code. Okay, let me see Taco Pro. I think I missed it. Taco Pro, are you on X? Could you DM me? DM my real account, please, and I will not send you any I will not ask you for XRP. Memes aren't that deep. Yeah, exactly. Taco Pro, I'm missing it. I want to see what you sent for sure. I don't see any links though. Did you send it a while ago or is this recent? Give me another copy. I saw your last post on the FOMC meeting, and then I'm scrolling down and I'm not seeing the link. Would love to check it out though. I will say though, like Taco Pro, not that I doubt it, not that I doubt what you're saying at all, but you need to make like the FOMC meeting, right? There might be an indication of something that would be good for alt season, but it's important to realize, right? I don't know. The FOMC meetings are usually hyped up to be more than they actually are. In my opinion, they could say anything at the FOMC meeting. It's more about what actually gets done. Taco Pro, it's not coming in for some reason. It's not coming in. I'm not getting that link, at least in my chat. I don't know if I'm missing something here, but I am not seeing it. Is anyone else seeing the link Taco Pro sent? Or am I just dumb here? I do not see the link. What was the guy's name again? What was the guy's name? Virtual Bacon. All right. And is this a YouTube video or an X video? If I have that, I can probably figure out this Virtual Bacon. That's a crazy name. Virtual Bacon. I kind of like it. I can get on board with some Virtual Bacon. Oh, wow. This guy's big time. Okay. I found the video, I think. Wow, 453,000 subscribers. That's crazy. All right, I'll check out that video for sure. I got it now. Cage Rev is on fire. RLUSD unleash XRP ledger in weeks, not months. I hope RLUSD is released ASAP. I'm excited for that. Guys, with that said, I'm going to jump. Guys, quick PSA. Guys, make sure you know that there are a lot of scammers out there pretending to be me. Never message anyone who is not me. You've always got to double, triple check. In very few instances will you ever be messaging me. So unless you can directly verify that it is me by going to the exact account that's verified with the amount of subscribers, it's not me. So double, triple, quadruple check. Never trust anyone with your digital assets. You have to be ultra, ultra, ultra careful.